Well, I know you love to speak and people love to hear you speak. And well, I already asked you this on the before we started recording. So of all the material that you have that is so funny, because I've heard some of it, can you tell us your absolute favorite bit to share or story?
Well, if I told my favorite one, it would take too long. It would take most of this interview because it's about 15 minutes to tell that story. But I'll tell you one of the most recent ones that happened. Most of my stories, in fact, my husband Tim was telling our guest that a few minutes ago. He said, she's done most of her stuff because of me. He said, I'm most of the material. And he makes it so easy. But he just does stuff and it's just naturally funny. It's kind of like Jeannie with left brain, but Tim's not left brain. He's just always into stuff. And one night we were sitting there and our kids were going to be coming over the next day for lunch. And I have, when we all get together, it's about 17 of us. And so I was going to have hamburgers and hot dogs. And I realized I didn't have enough hamburger meat. So this was about 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. And I said, you know, we're not going to have time to go get this tomorrow because we've got church in the morning, all that. And I said, let's just order it and have them deliver it. And I said, if we go ahead and get it delivered, you know, we can pay a little bit extra and get it delivered tonight. And this is about 10 o'clock already. So he was sitting in the chair and I said, just order this for me. I said, go ahead and order this. I said, order 6, you know, I get the hamburger meat in those 1 pound tubes, you know. Yeah. And I said, get 6 of those. I need 6 pounds of that. So get 6 of those. And then if I don't use them all, I can just put them back in the freezer. And I said, and by the way, I need some toilet paper. And so he said, okay. So he ordered 6 of those. It was supposed to be there in 2 hours. He said, if it's not $100, you got to pay extra for delivery. I said, that's all right. It's worth it to me. Not have to get it tomorrow. So we sat there a couple hours later. By this time it's midnight and the doorbell rang and I went to the doorbell and I got the groceries and brought them in. And by this time he was asleep in his chair. And I started to pull the groceries out of the bag. And the first bag I pulled out, it was a 5 pound tube of hamburger meat. And I thought, well, maybe they didn't have the 1 pound. And so then the next one I pulled out another 5 pound chub of hamburger meat. I kept going and I thought, I'm going to have 30 pounds. And so by the time I finished, I had 30 pounds of hamburger meat. And so I thought, what has he done? So I yelled in there. I said, let me just ask you a question. When you ordered this, did you just look at the pictures or did you read the text? He said, I looked at the pictures. And I said, you ordered 6 5 pound tubes of hamburger meat. I have 30 pounds of hamburger meat. Oh, and toilet paper. So later on, we got to bed and I laid there and I started thinking about that. And I thought, that is hilarious. And I started laughing and I was shaking the bed. I was laughing so hard. And he said, what are you laughing at? I said, I was just thinking, what in the world did that delivery driver think when she pulled up here with 30 pounds of hamburger meat and toilet paper at midnight on a Saturday night? Well, we laughed about it for a few minutes. And then a few minutes later, I started laughing again. And by this time he was asleep and he said, what now? Just get a little aggravated. I said, I was just thinking, did it never dawn on you the price was a little bit more than you thought it was going to be for 6 pounds of hamburger meat? He said, yeah. He said, I did. He said, I thought that was a little bit more than it should have been, but I knew we were getting toilet paper. And I said, why would toilet paper make that much difference? So we laughed a few minutes more. And then later, I really got tickled. And he said, by this time, he's really aggravated. He said, why are you laughing now? I said, well, I was just thinking, at least we saved the delivery fee because it ended up being $153. All I was expecting was 6 pounds of hamburger meat and toilet paper. It ended up being $153.
Oh my God.
Oh, and if I get tickled, I start coughing. So this crud is never going away. I'm determined it's never going away.
Oh, honey, it just hangs around and you can't get rid of it.
It does.
Like, old drawers. They just keep popping back up. Yep.